All right, everybody, we are live. Live, live, live. All right, guys. You're just watching some videos with me. Let's go through this real quick. Okay. I'm going to show you a preview of what was said on Arty's channel. And a lot of you missed this, so you're going to have to stick with me. Hold on. I'll get it pulled up for you in just a sec. All right, let's go over here. Now, you guys may remember seeing this.
Yeah. But I did want to note that Michigan actually does, in fact, define shall and may. So
yeah, and the more I look into this stuff, and I'm
Let's
just gonna
watch this.
that's something that you see
on that tangent if you want.
Okay, signed by the governor.
I mean, you already went through this in Paul's chat. I can replay you what was said in Paul's chat, and I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just trying to play the court hearing for you. That we can get lost in on that tangent if you want.
Okay,
but
you're right. But I do want to make a note.
Okay, so why didn't Arty want to talk about what happened in Paul's chat? We'll get to that in just a little bit. Hey everybody, you're gonna want to see this. We're gonna play Why Arty. We'll play that one more time for you real quick, just so you can see, and then we're gonna come back to this. You ready?
I mean, you already went through this in Paul's chat. I can replay you what was said in Paul's chat. And I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just trying to play the court hearing for you. That we can get lost in on that tangent if you want.
Why did Arty not want to talk about what he said in Paul's chat, or what happened in Paul's chat? And right here, guys, right here is the timestamp. I put the timestamps in there. And this is my first appearance on Arty, but we'll come back to that in a second, okay? So, why are we talking about Arty? Well, watchdogs, right?
But if they're not a good institution, they're not worth citing. If they're not relevant or useful, why is he citing them?
Exactly.
Why is he citing Supreme Court cases? What was that again, Blue Bacon? Here, let's hear what Blue Bacon has to say. By the way, this was from Kick's stream earlier, and the title of that video is Kicking Crew Chili Roast. So, let's see. Hold on. Hey, highly suspect bear. Appreciate you tuning in. Hold on. You guys are just watching some videos with me. This is the easiest way for me to do it, but let's go back here.
Well, he's citing them only when it fit.
You're just distributing these all over. It doesn't work that way. But if they're not a good institution, they're not worth citing. If they're not relevant or useful, why is he citing them?
Why is he citing them? The Supreme Court decisions,
well, he's
right?
citing them only when it fits his narrative, which is why he hates Terry v. Ohio.
Let's go through Kick's stream here, right?
Note that we have hit 580 concurrent viewers on a live stream here, which is the most that we have had on Keeping It Criminal. Thank y'all so much.
Last minute stream too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys got a record number of people watching, and it's thanks to that guy. Not thanks to these guys. It's thanks to that guy. Not these guys. Okay? But let's see. This was a panel of, let's see. We had Kick. We had Taco. We had Blue Bacon. We had Arty. We had Kfar. And we had Tones Thinks It. Okay, so 4 of those guys are absolutely despicable human beings. There's only 2 decent ones there. Or wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Only 2 of the 6 of them are actually decent human beings, from what I can tell. So, hold on. You ready? Let's play this real quick, too.
To point out about people like him, be they auditors or sovereign citizens or cop watchers, they all fail to understand what their purpose of filming is. They claim that it's for news purposes and for journalism, but the problem with that is news purposes and journalism are supposed to be neutral, and when the story is about you and you're filming it from your perspective, you are now doing it with a bias because it has to deal with you and what you're doing. So when you go to make that commercial with your bias, it is no longer news. It is your...
So that's your opinion there, Kick. That's your opinion. That was the 3222 comment on how to do cop watching from Kick. And there's my comment right there. Some people like me try to intervene and prevent legalized plunder Ask Mark Stout, aka Legalized Drugs. Him and Jay Surreal were successful one night. They prevented somebody from having their car towed. That's why I do it. I do it for the same reason, okay? So, anybody just coming in, this is just for people to watch later. You know, you're just hanging out, chilling out with me, watching some videos. And this is the way that I choose to do it right now. So, let me take you back. Let's go back to Arty's stream one more time. And we will give you what we're about to get into here. This is the video.
Something that you seem very passionate.
I watched this one last time. This is the third time we're playing this, but I want you to listen to this. Ready?
I mean, you already went through this in Paul's chat. I can replay you what was said in Paul's chat. And I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just trying to play the court hearing for you. That we can get lost in that on that tangent if you want.
Okay,
But I'm not trying to get lost.
But I do want to make
Now, a lot of people will have missed that, and it'll snuck by them without being noticed, what I just said there. We can already go through what was said in Paul's chat. Yeah, exactly, Cart Thief News. The news hasn't been biased for years. Absolutely, like, right? Cart Thief News, that's absolutely 100% bullseye, on point. It's like, you don't think the news is biased? I guess you don't watch MSNBC and Fox, because if you watch Fox News and MSNBC, they will cover the same exact story, and it'll seem like two opposite stories, right? So we all know that. So why did Arty say this? Why did Arty say this?
I mean, you already went through this in Paul's chat. I can replay you what was said in Paul's chat. And I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just trying to play the...
Do you guys want to know what was said in Paul's chat? Give me one if you guys want to. If you guys want to know what was said in Paul's chat. Here, let's get this queued up here. Give me a 1 real quick if you guys want to know what was said in Paul's chat. Here's Paul's chat right here. And we'll get to this in just a second after this ad. After the second ad, I should say. Car Thief News, yeah. Let me know what's... Absolutely, guys. Okay. Ready? Here we go. This has to do with the whole driver, and the definitions, and the things that I'm going through, the things that these guys bag on me for. Hold on. Sorry. All right, you guys ready? And if you guys want, let's just close this out here. If you guys want to see it for yourselves, it's called Death Before Dishonor. And then what I did is I went in here and I did this little comment right here. So you guys can see, right? This is where the discussion with Arty happened. So if you don't want to watch it here on this messed up device that I have going on, right? It's in Death Before Dishonor, 2 months before the making of this video that we're doing right now. But here, we'll get into it and we'll play it, right? This is what I've already seen, okay? I already witnessed Arty go with Paul, and they already had this debate, or this discussion, I should say, about driver, and all that. And you guys tell me what you think. This is probably why Arty did not want to discuss it. You guys ready?
Mr. Broken System says, Arty, my state defines driver as one who drives. There is no definition for driver. Yes, because the code is a codification. Right? It's an abbreviated form of the public law. The original public law, if you go and find it somewhere, I'm sure will state what that all means. And that's why I go with the federal codes, because like Mr. Valdez said on the side, well, we're a municipality, we don't follow federal laws. Well, then you have a conflict of interest with federal court, which means you're going to lose when we go in there. So you have to make these people aware. You're not following federal laws? Well, all state laws and all local laws have to be pursuant to federal laws and the federal constitution. So you can't write up a state constitution and be part of the United States.
No, Kfar, I don't love you. I actually think you behave like a despicable human being, Kfar. That's what I honestly think of you, man. And I think that you can do better. And then when this is all said and done and you're on the wrong side of history, you're going to come back realizing how horrible of a person you were actually being. So, no, I don't love you at all. I actually find your actions despicable. And that's just me being honest, man. But let's get back to what Paul says. And this is again goes back to why Arty did not want to have this discussion. Ready?
The collection of states, right? You can't do that and say, well, we're going to have slavery in our state. We're going to slave up everybody however we want because we have a right to regulate our state. You know, that's what a few of them claimed to me out front of the courthouse before they arrested me in Colorado. Well, it's called states' rights. No, sir. We fought a war over this. You states don't have a right to interfere with federal constitutional rights. That's the whole point of checks and balance. Each element, each end of each side has to be concurrent, you know, conformist to the top of the pyramid. And the top of the pyramid is we're all created equal. We're all endowed by our creator with unalienable rights, you know, unalienable. You can't put a lien on them. You can't license them. You can't commercialize them, right? So, you know, there's a complete disconnect.
Okay, so that's the first thing that was said. Okay, now let's go through to this part. Arty?
Arty says. I think Arty's one of the haters too. I believe from a while back he's been on my trail for a while. I think 4 to 6 months at least. Follow me around. He's excited by what I'm doing. He just has an odd way of showing it. But yeah, I do tell people to do your own research because
I think there's a lot of people that I would agree with. Here, let's go to this comment. Okay, let's see. This one's 47:30, and this one's about a minute long. So let's go to this one.
you know, that's fine, because here's the thing, Arty, right? Let me level with you. I don't get my law. I'm going to say it real quiet because I don't want nobody to hear it. I don't get my law from the Supreme Court, right? Even if I was to reference the Supreme Court in certain cases, I don't get my law from other men and women in black robes. See how that works? So I can reference them when I please. Even if what you said was correct, I like the Socratic method, will make the worst case scenario true. Okay, none of my Supreme Court rulings support my narrative. My narrative is still my own. It comes directly from my God. It's my right to engage in, and no other man or woman can convince me it's not without using the violence of the state in order to make that true. Right? So how could we all be created equal here when some of us are more equal than others? You ever see Animal Farm, Arty? So, you know, again, maybe my Supreme Court decisions do support my narrative. I believe they do. If they don't, it doesn't much matter, because our rights come from God, not the Supreme Court. All the Supreme Court does is uphold our rights that come from God. Our rights that come from God are self-evident to some of us. To other ones of us, they have to be written down and dictated to them by men and women in black robes.
See that, Arty? Arty, here, is this too much truth for Arty to handle? This is why Arty didn't want me bringing this up on his show, I believe. So let's keep going, Arty, because you keep commenting.
Arty says now again, a license is required to use your car on a road, regardless of whether using it personally or commercially. Absolutely not true, right? Absolutely not true. It's been upheld in the Supreme Court, but you say that's false. So I guess I have to pull it up one day here, right? I think I have it here somewhere. But then you'll say that I have to read the whole thing. I have to go through 500 pages to read what it says clearly in 3 lines. And I don't care if it's the judge saying it or the person bringing the case saying it. It happens to be a truth. You know, where did they derive the authority to require a license to move private property from point A to point B? How did they get that authority? Where did they derive that? And how did they do it without my consent? They may do it. It may happen all day, every day, but it's not legitimate. It's not lawful. It's not even legal. Okay?
So here, let's hear that again, Arty.
That. And how did they do it without my person bringing the case saying it? It happens to be a truth. You know? Where did they derive the authority to require a license to move private property from point A to point B? How did they get that authority? Where did they derive that? And how did they do it without my consent? They may do it. It may happen all day, every day, but it's not legitimate. It's not lawful. It's not even legal. Okay? So,
Arty.
Licensure and state troopers and all that was originally created to regulate commercial vehicles. Because guess what, Arty? Let me give you a crazy concept for you. At one point in history, nobody had any of these documents or any of this crap. Men and women just moved around because they were free and they didn't answer to anybody. And then at a certain point, business started merging. The the merger of corporations and state, right? It's called fascism. So big corporations started emerging and started killing people on the roadways in different ways, right? Through accidents, through different types of issues. So what happened was these institutions were created to regulate commercial interactions, big commercial vehicles. If you go into Colorado revised statute, it even spells out, it says tractor trailer, bus, semi-trailer. Then it says other vehicles. We're considered, you think, other vehicles. Why would it be spelling out tractor trailer, semi-trailers, buses, and
Highly suspect, Bear. Yeah, I read your comment, and I get what you're saying. Paul's going to get into that too. So, but anyways, this is the conversation that I've already witnessed that you guys are probably just now watching for the first time, I'm guessing. So, but we're going to get into that, what you said, Highly Suspect Bear. Highly Suspect Bear says, I tried to explain this definition word game problem like 10 or 11 years ago in East Lansing. They towed my truck. Yeah, just like Paul said, it happens all day, every day. But let's get back into this video real quick, and he'll actually go in and explain that.
taxis, because that's who has commercial drivers. A driver is somebody who's employed on the roadway as per Bouvier's Law Dictionary and Black's Law Dictionary 1 through 12 till they started obfuscating the language. When did the definitions of the words change, Arty? Who changed them? Do you see how ridiculous it becomes? We all agreed at one point driver was somebody employed on the roadway to do commerce. It's in every law and legal dictionary. It then somehow became everybody behind a steering wheel. When did that happen, and how did it happen? Show me the man who's able to alter meaning and purpose inherent in reality and make it align with the words, and I will thank you, because that person's God, right? But that person doesn't exist because the truth is eternal. A driver will always be somebody employed on the roadway to do commerce. If you call yourself a driver and you title your automobile a motor vehicle, right? Now you require license, registration, insurance, and plates because you've turned private property into public, commercial, governmental regulated property, right? That's what registration is. Registration is a transfer of property rights. There's recording and there's registering. Registering is to let somebody else in on your property rights. So you become partner with the state. And now guess what? The state requires, once you title your car a motor vehicle and partner with them, it requires you to do certain things. The same way a private business has to follow certain codes. They have to get, this is real difficult, Arty, watch what I do here. Private business becomes public and commercial and has to have a license.
Ah, buffering, guys. Hold on. Oh, we might be buffering. We might have to come back to this. But anyways, guys, if you just want to see this for yourselves, I left this nice little pin comment. Well, I shouldn't say pin comment because it's Paul's channel. So he hasn't pinned it. But anyways, I did that nice little comment right there. So you guys can go watch this stuff for yourself. But
the same
here we
way
go.
a private business has to follow certain codes. They have to get, this is real difficult, Arty, watch what I do here. Private business becomes public and commercial and has to have a license.
Hey, Tiff. Appreciate you being in here. Well, we keep buffering, guys.
The same way a private business has to follow certain codes. They have to get, this is real difficult, Arty, watch what I do here. Private business becomes public and commercial and has to have a license.
Well, it always wants to freeze at that spot, doesn't it? Alright, but anyways, guys, I think you get my point, right? This is the conversation that Arty did not want the world to see. I've already seen this, okay? I saw it when it happened, and I've replayed it a couple times now. And I gotta say, this is kind of the reason why I don't buy on the Masshole Report when Blue Bacon
entity.
comes up there.
So
Oh, here we
things
go.
are private, can't be regulated until you bring them into public and call them something else. Now, they require license, insurance, registration. Registration is a tax because you're partnering with the state, right? So I know you don't understand this and you won't make an effort to understand this. And I know it's real complicated how I just broke that down. Maybe it don't make no sense to you, but, you know, the same way I'll tell you, in any corporation, you need a president, a vice president, and a treasurer. And you'll probably still argue about Donald Trump and Joe Biden because you don't understand it's a corporate entity. It's the corporate legal side of things. It has nothing to do with the private lawful side of things. Joe Biden and Donald Trump can't regulate what I do in my bedroom as much as they'd like to, and soon they will because you want to conflate the definition of public and private. I don't like doing that because I like my rights, I like my private property, and I like being able to regulate and self-govern, right? When I'm not doing commercial activity, when I'm not partnering with the state. It's like YouTube. When I partner with YouTube, I have to adhere to certain policy and procedure. If I don't, they have a right to sanction me.
That was the second part of it. Here, let's skip down here.
Understanding of the federal definition of motor vehicle is it's a commercial instrument. Driver is also...
And if you guys want to, real quick, go over to Paul's channel. Just go over to Paul's channel. This is the video. It's called Death Before Dishonor. And then here's Paul's donation information too. So, Common Law Paul. It's pretty easy. So, that's his Cash App. So, hashtag, or no, I'm sorry, $ Common Law Paul. So, pretty easy if you want to go donate to Paul for doing this work.
Somebody who's employed on the roadway. You know, let's put this all to bed. I'm not sure who's paying you and who's hired you all to continue this narrative, but it's going away day by day, right? So I hope they're paying you a lot because you're fighting a losing battle. We know the game, we know the scam, we get how they're regulating us now, and we're stopping, right? The state nationals, the state assembly is all stopping.
Hope you heard that one.
Understanding of the federal definition of motor vehicle is it's a commercial instrument. Driver is also somebody who's employed on the roadway. You know, let's put this all to bed. I'm not sure who's paying you and who's hired you all to continue this narrative, but it's going away day by day, right? So I hope they're paying you a lot because you're fighting a losing battle. We know.
And day by day, the live streaming camera is a big part of changing that. Okay, so let's go down here and let's see.
Understanding of the federal definition of motor vehicle is it's a commercial instrument. Driver is also somebody who's employed on the roadway. You know, let's put this all to bed. I'm not sure who's paying you and who's hired you all to continue this.
Here, Arty, let's go to your next comment. Oh, well, let's watch a Jets commercial first. I used to deliver pizzas for Jets. They got good pizza. Ready?
They're yelling at Arty now. You know, Arty knows not what he does. If he knew better, he'd do better. That's the thing. Anytime somebody acts out like this and parrots nonsense that can't be substantiated with objective logic, morals, and ethics, the only way it can be substantiated is with force. Good ideas don't require force. So that person has already verified that they're a fool or they're engaged in folly, right? So they know not what they do. If they knew better, they'd do better because they'd feel better about what they were doing and who they are.
That's you, Smitty. That describes you right there, Smitty. Here, let's see this.
They're yelling at Arty now. You know, Arty knows not what he does. If he knew better, he'd do better. That's the thing. Anytime somebody acts out like this and parrots nonsense that can't be substantiated with objective logic, morals, and ethics, the only way it can be substantiated is with force. Good ideas don't require force. So that person has already verified that they're a fool or they're engaged in folly, right? So they know not what they do. If they knew better, they'd do better because they'd feel better.
If they knew better, they'd do better. That's you, Smitty. Smitty, if you knew better, you'd do better, Smitty. That's you, buddy. This stream is sponsored by Jets Pizza. Yeah, highly suspect, Bear. I used to deliver pizzas there. Oh, sorry, I'm getting yelled at. Hold on. You ready? A hater will do this.
On their own, a hater has to have somebody to hate on in order to substantiate their existence. I mean, a lot of cops are haters, right? Oh, you're riding around. You want to be free to uphold your rights. When I take this badge off, I have plates and license and all that. I'm a slave. Why should I let you have it, right? It's a hater because they can't conceive of themselves being free without rights, and they're supposedly gods. What makes me think I'm special enough to do so? So they're going to hate on you. They're going to pull you over, steal your property, and teach you a lesson, right? They're going to be the ones to...
Isn't that exactly what happened? Isn't that exactly what happened? Here, so let's listen to this again. You ready?
On their own. A hater has to have somebody to hate on in order to substantiate their existence. I mean, a lot of cops are haters, right? Oh, you're riding around. You want to be free to uphold your rights. When I take this badge off, I have plates and license and all that. I'm a slave. Why should I let you have it, right? It's a hater because they can't conceive of themselves being free and without rights, and they're supposedly gods. What makes me think I'm special enough to do so? So they're going to hate on you. They're going to pull you over, steal your property, and teach you a lesson, right? They're going to be the ones to teach you a lesson. Usually haters got big ego, but got no substance behind it. They have no real substance. There's nothing substantial. There's nothing pertinent behind it. It's just a bunch of talk. It's just a bunch of denigration, gossip, and meaningless and fruitless.
Maybe one day we can get Paul up to have the discussion live, because that's what I'd really like. Anyways, 10 people in here watching. We're going to get through the rest of this. This is the video that Arty will not want you guys to see. I already know about this video. I was there when it happened. And it's the discussion I asked Arty if he'd like to get into again. He said no. This is the reason he didn't want to get into this discussion right here. Here, let's see this next Arty comment.
Yes, absolutely. I won't cite them, Arty says. So you'll cite the rulings, Supreme Court rulings, even when you don't rely on them as authority anyway.
This is what Blue Bacon said. If you guys remember, Blue Bacon just said this, and then Tones overthinks it, who doesn't overthink logical fallacies, isn't like, hey, wait a second, Blue Bacon, that's a logical fallacy. But here's the response to that. And then, but Tones overthinks it, just goes along with it, doesn't even think twice about it. Here we go.
Well, I won't cite them. I will refer to them or compare to them. Let me give you an example. If I go into federal court, I may say that I am a man created in the image of the Most High, and that I do not wish to be or consent to be regulated by any other man or woman in this realm because we're all created equal. And I will compare to Supreme Court decision XYZ. The reason I do this is because if I cite another man's words as where I get my law, well, then that man's words may change from day to day. So that means my law changes. My law comes in relationship with what we would call God. Well, then that's unchanging. And if it changes, it's through the mechanism of my internal space, right? Nothing outside of me can ever change law for me. Only my level of self-governance. Until I cause loss, injury, or harm, then you might be able to separate me from society or imprison me if you believe that I had a malice of forethought, right? So if I'm riding down the road and I hit somebody and I cause damage accidentally, you still can't put me in prison lawfully, right? Because I didn't wake up and plan to do a crime to somebody, right? The crime has to have certain elements to it, and one of them is a malicious intent. So if you don't have a malicious intent, you've never done a crime, right? And this is another misunderstanding, it seems. So, have we done infractions? Possibly. Misdemeanors? Meaning your demeanor wasn't what somebody else said it should be? Possibly. This is like school terminology. You did a misdemeanor. You need to correct your demeanor. We don't like your attitude, mister. That's an infraction of the policy and the rules. When you're here, it's nonsense. When we become man and woman, we're self-regulating. We do whatever we please as long as we don't cause loss, injury, harm to our fellow man. That's called rights and freedom. If you get them from other man and woman and they can change day to day, week to week, then they're not really God-given rights and freedoms. They're man and woman-given rights and freedoms, in which case they're not eternal truth, they're not securable, and they're not based in any kind of philosophy that is lasting. The reason our founders set up the Constitution the way that they did, because they understood the spiritual principles of universal law, and because they wanted to create a document where they said, you can't ever regulate us because our regulation is internal and it comes directly from God. So until we do these certain things, you can't interfere with our life. That's what the whole purpose was. So I will compare to men's understanding in this realm. I will say, look at this man. You believe him to be a respectable man? Look at his belief. Okay, how about this man? Do you respect him? Look at his belief. Now here, let me give you my belief and compare him to all these other men who you respect's belief, because we're all on the same page, right? So yes, I will compare my understanding and my belief that I've gotten through firsthand experience and through verifiable, objective logic, morals, and ethics. And I will compare that to another man or woman's words in this realm who've come to the same understanding to show a preponderance of understanding and belief that common culture is an element of common law. So if all of us have come, right, to the same understanding over and over again, all throughout society and history in different places, different times to this one truth, then that would lend itself to be true or true enough, right? If it's, again, backed by a preponderance of evidence, which to me just means logic, morals, ethics, and the facts of the matter. The fact of the matter is no man or woman can ever impose regulations on anybody else without using violence unless it's contractual or consensual. So unless you believe that some men and women have a right to forcefully impose regulation on others, which is a contract, which you seem to believe, then the right doesn't exist. It's illegitimate. And here's how you use logic, Arty. There's two men and women left on Earth. Does one man have a right to impose his will on the other man left? And you'll say no, right? Most people will say no. You say yes, then you're really too far gone. But if there's two people left on the Earth, does one have a right to impose his will on the other? No. So then how does it become okay when 8 billion people are on the Earth? And the answer is it's never okay. That's the thing about logic, is it doesn't change as the numbers change, right? So you can use order as your means to the end, using force to try to keep supposed wrongdoers in line, but we know better than that. It's really about control, power, regulation, and keeping the individual at a place.
Highly suspect, Bear. That's why they say the meek shall inherit the earth, I believe. So anyways, let's keep going with Paul. Anyways, you guys, this is from Paul Enslaved, and this was Arty joining in the chat. And then I went up on Arty's show, and I went to have the discussion with Arty, and I asked Arty about this interview right here, because Arty knows that he had it. Arty knows that I was there. This is the same chat where Arty told me that words change meaning over time, right? And then I just hammered it, Arty, with the words change meaning over time. Remember, Arty? This is the discussion that he quickly blew off. And now you're probably seeing why Arty wanted to quickly blow this off, right?
Inside of himself, where he believes he's only good enough to rise to this level, but never good.
Back that up a minute.
Supposed wrongdoers in line, but we know better than that. It's really about control, power, regulation, and keeping the individual at a place inside of himself where he believes he's only good enough to rise to this level, but never good enough to actually run his own life and mind his own business, right? And there's many levels to this tactic and this disempowerment. It's why many neighborhoods are disenfranchised. They don't own businesses. They don't become successful. They don't become secure in themselves and secure financially, because the level of disempowerment spans that whole public schooling system and what they put on and what they taught you to be. So
let's go down here. There you go, Arty.
Arty says, I don't know why we keep giving Arty some time, but we'll just pick apart everything he says, because these are common arguments given by other folks in mind control. You can call your car a rocket ship. In the eyes of the law, it fits the definition of a motor vehicle. Well, what is that definition, Arty? Who is the law, and what do you believe the law is? Because, again, the code, the Colorado Revised Statute, any other revised statute, motor vehicle code, is under trafficking and transportation heading. So just the term trafficking and transportation should, ding, set off a light bulb in your mind. What's trafficking, Arty? What's transporting, Arty? You're not really interested, are you? You're not really interested. It doesn't ring a bell. It doesn't make you think of anything like when they say drug trafficking, like when they say sex trafficking. That means engaging in commercial activity, right? Illegal and unlawful activity. So what's the difference between drug trafficking and just traffic or trafficking? It's all commercial terminology. Arty, just like transportation, if we look up the term, the original term meant to go from port to port with ships, right, that had captains, carriers, right, moving products from port to port. That would be transporting, Arty. So these are commercial.
That would be transporting, Arty. So, hey, what's up, Charles? Appreciate you being in here, man. So anyways, I guess you guys can probably see why Arty did not want me to bring this up. So here, let me just show you guys again kind of what I'm talking about, right? So this was me on Arty show. Let's go with this comment right here, right? So this is where we're going with this. Ready?
I mean, you already went through this in Paul's chat. I can replay you what was said in Paul's chat. And I'm not trying to do that here. I'm just trying to play the court hearing for you. That we can get lost in that.
I wasn't trying to embarrass you, Arty. I wasn't trying to embarrass you. But you and Blue Bacon and the Maxwell Report, you guys keep going with this topic, right? And you keep trying to say that I'm the fool. So let me just break this down for you guys, right? Like, I already saw this discussion. You guys probably have never seen it. That's what I'm guessing. You guys have never seen the discussion with Paul. So, again, this is what we're talking about. Death Before Dishonor was the name of the title. And then I put this little comment in here. And so if you guys want to go ahead, go watch the rest of what Arty said. And then here, we'll just close with this, and then I'm going to get to bed, guys. Here, let me play you the closing. Appreciate you being in here, Charles. Charles, I just wanted to show you what I'm talking about tonight. I did that for you, Charles. And let's see.
Mr. Broken System says, Arty, my state defines driver as one who drives.
Oh, shoot, we didn't want that one.
Me off topic. Yeah, but see now, Andrew, if I have you on, then I'm gonna have to have Josh on because he's been begging me to come up. Right? He desperately wants me to bring him up here so he can try to funnel some type of audience over to his channel. I know what his motives are. I'm on to him. He doesn't think I know. Don't tell him. But I'm on.
All right, one more time, guys.
Yeah. But see now, Andrew, if I have you on, then I'm gonna have to have Josh on because he's been begging me to come up. Right? He desperately wants me to bring him up here so he can try to funnel some type of audience over to his channel. I know what his motives are. I'm on to him. He doesn't think.
Anyways, guys, that was the stream. Look, I already saw that discussion, and so I guess what I'm just trying to do, guys, is bring that discussion to you guys. I've already seen the two black belts, if you will, go at it, and I saw one of the black belts just absolutely get their ass handed to him. Of course, this was in a forum where they couldn't control what was being said, and so I really didn't want to do that to you, Arty. I really didn't want to do that to you, but you keep going, Blue Bacon keeps going, Kick keeps going, and then now you guys got the Maxwell Report involved. So I just figured I'd share that with you guys. This is the video that Arty does not want you guys to see. Anyways, hope you guys have a good night. All right, let me just check chat real quick, and then I'll be out of here. I'm gonna get some sleep for the night, guys. So, Cop Block Hot Springs, yeah, right. My sensei is better than your sensei, right? I already had that discussion. Listen, I've had the pleasure of watching quite a few legal discussions and quite a few, battles, and I'm just happy that I'm here to see them. So, appreciate the stream. Shout out to Jets Pizza for sponsoring the stream. Absolutely highly suspect, Bear. So, good night, everybody. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.